Hello and welcome to another boss guide. In today's guide, we'll be talking about none other than the PTSD-inducing sister herself, Vermillion Feathers. This is specifically her second phase. So right off the bat, the first thing we're going to want is something with stagger. Now, what I mean by that specifically is a heavy weapon. Off break, pretty much every time you face her, because you're probably going to have to reset her a couple times, you can always do a backstab on her. So I would prefer probably a two-handed sword or a heavy axe. I'm using the heavy axe that boosts your attack damage when you have fire. That is why my tempering preference here is fire or poise break, but I'm not really sure what works well against her besides those two. And honestly, I have been a two-handed sword user the entire game through both playthroughs, and I had to switch up my build for her just because she is such a pain. She is way more aggressive than her first fight that you have with her, and honestly, I think big heavy weapons is probably going to be the best deal against her, and poise break is always helpful against that. As far as her choreographed attacks, we know from our initial fight with her that she has the shortest wind ups possible. And what I mean by that is that she will attack you almost instantaneously and you will have very little time to react. This leads you to more than anything probably being beneficial just to kind of maybe go watch a YouTube video on her first phase just to kind of figure out, because most of her moves are similar, but they are extremely fast, which makes it hard to challenge her from the front, which is why in most of these clips where I'm actually challenging her, it's when I can get on her backside. Now, that move she just did right there, where she wraps herself in red wings, just know that anytime you attack her in that form, she will immediately counterattack you instantly and it will hurt, just like it did to me. And then you'll be running away like I am at this instant moment. She also has a ton of ranged attacks, just the same as the first fight. And she does a ton of slash damage and blunt damage because she's using one-handed swords. This leads to this fight more than anything being a fight of how good you are at reading her moveset. She doesn't have a ton of new moves, so to say, with these wings and so on and so forth, and her second phase really isn't too different, besides her having some more range attacks. But the same problem with her in her first phase, which I'm talking about her first fight that we actually fight her in the castle, are going to be your same problems here. She's extremely quick. She doesn't give you really any time to heal, and you're going to have to either be extremely defensive or you are going to have to be highly aggressive the entire time, kind of like what I'm doing with this axe. I'm always staying in her face. I'm trying to break her posture. I'm trying to find openings in the back. And honestly, I was surprised that I was able to get most of this footage in one single clip. As most of us know, the first time we fight her, she is a pain, and this is probably going to be more of a pain for most of you than anything, if I'm guessing. So really all you're going to have to do with her is, honestly, the best thing I have that I can tell you is we are going to want to master her skill set from her first fight, and just know that she is extremely fast and she's going to try to cut you down every opportunity she gets, and there really isn't going to be much room for you to make any mistakes. But as always, I hope you enjoyed this quick guide. You can kind of watch my gameplay and see, and yeah, see you next time.